Welcome back to another episode of
Significant Fathers. Why have I been doing it like that? I want to change it.
I mean, it's all you. You can do whatever you feel like. If you ever want to throw some razzmatazz in there or something like that.
Yeah, I've it's been, 12 episodes, and I haven't thought of anything new to do. Well, I did change it from the very beginning.
Yeah.
But this one's stupid, and I don't like it. I just, my mouth automatically does it for some reason now. So I have to find something else to do, and it's disgusting. I hate it. Anyways.
Today's episode is the question of the day or the week or the month is romantic comedies are romantic companies? Oh my God, I'm falling apart. Are romantic comedies accurate? TLDR, I would say yes.
You think?
Yeah. See, when you're younger, right? You're watching them and you're like, oh my God, it's so sweet. And then they do one thing that's wrong and it's like, oh no, everything's falling apart.
Oh, that part is accurate.
Yeah.
Because people generally don't take time to let another person explain.
No.
Or they run away.
I saw you with the ice cream man and he gave you an ice cream cone. That means you're in love. So I ran away to 3 states away.
Yeah, and literally won't pick up the phone or anything. No, people do act like that. I mean, the really good stuff. I feel like not generally accurate because.
Whoa, what do you mean the really good stuff?
I don't know, somebody actually being nice and sweet. Other than you, I guess there's just a 1 in a million.
No.
Maybe.
No. No. I mean, because you got to think about it. Most of it's pretty accurate for the fact that there are red flags in a lot of main characters and a lot of main romance things that are they'll love bomb you. But then they're not great people.
No, but romantic comedies usually ends happy. They're great. They're wonderful.
Yeah,
lovey-dovey, end up together.
At the part you see at the end, you don't know what happens after the camera goes off.
They go home later, to their families.
Yeah, 2 weeks. They're separate families that they have. They've been having an affair.
Well, that's the point of it ending there, because it's still oh my God, it's wonderful right now.
Yeah, right now.
I guess that's accurate, because most beginnings of relationships are wonderful right after. When you finally get together, you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
And then it's later.
But I feel like it's it's accurate in the sense that you're looking at it from the perspective of the 2 people that are in the relationship, and you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing that has ever happened to me, but we're gonna ignore all the red flags that is happening. Every single red flag. Why did I think for that 1 second that this one decision that was not that big of a deal would ruin the whole thing we had going?
Yeah.
So it's it's pretty accurate, I feel like.
Maybe.
What's the movie we just watched? Your Place or Mine?
Yeah, that one was cute.
It was cute.
There was no red flags.
No, there really wasn't.
They've been friends forever. That one makes a little more sense. And they're adults. See, a lot of times it's teen dramas because when you're young, you're an absolute moron. Those are full-grown adults, so I feel like that's more accurate. They act like they have sense a little bit more.
But you also forget that there are adults who don't get out of that teen stage.
Oh, absolutely. I see them
on
Facebook posting their drama when they're in their 40s and 50s. Wild to me.
They're just, how are you 50 still using the term baby mama? He brought his baby mama here and he thought that it was not going to be a problem. So we ended up fighting in the front yard.
How are you still acting like that and fighting people? Doing crazy stuff.
Bruh, I'm not going to be fighting nobody.
Not over some relationship.
No. If you was cheating on me and you brought your man here, I'd be like, oh, what's up, dude? You taking over? Because I can bounce. Y'all need space or something?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I would have to choke her out if you brought some woman over here.
She'd be bigger than you. I'd make sure that it would be an unfair fight.
No, I'd honestly probably just cry and be like, go to hell. Get away from me.
I already live there.
I'll just start throwing stuff at you. But no, I don't know. That just seems like a lot of effort to act crazy.
No,
now,
it is. It really
when
is.
I was younger, I had plenty of effort to act crazy, but I don't have that. I mean, plenty of energy to put in the effort to act crazy, but that's just,
I think,
too much. It's like, all right, well, I mean, I guess that's what you're doing now, so have fun. I'll see you later.
Oh, that's what we doing? We in a open relationship now?
I mean, I might cry about it later, but like, what am I gonna do? I'd be like, all right, then, I guess, go ahead.
Okay. Does that mean I can get a boyfriend or a girlfriend?
I wouldn't ask.
It's like,
if that's how it was working, I'd just get one.
And it's like, okay. and then 2 months later, we're like, oh my God, this is actually working pretty well. When I'm mad at you, I tell them, and then they help me deal with the problem with you, and then I come back to you happy.
That's true.
It's like a therapist almost, for free.
Yeah.
No, it just, you see a lot of adults that still live in that young adult drama. And it's like, guys, why are you guys breaking up why are you breaking up every 2 weeks? You're 40.
That's so embarrassing. Honestly, like, I see people be like, oh, in a relationship. Not in a relationship. I'm like, okay, well, that's like a lot of back and forth. Like, maybe you just shouldn't be together if you have to break up every other week.
Yeah.
Like,
see, I don't have that. I don't have that on my Facebook, so I never see it, but I hear from other people that they're like, yeah, whenever you have like the guy or the girl's talking about, whenever somebody shows you who they really are, that's when you believe them.
And then they're back with them like,
this is my Snooker Bookums.
Right. Like, no,
my
listen,
baby.
There's a lot of people I need to delete off Facebook, but I keep them purely for the entertainment. I want to scroll, and I like to see the drama sometimes for other people, so I'm like, dang, look at this. This is ridiculous. Anyways.
Yeah. No.
Glad that's not going on in my life. But, yeah, I just think that's so crazy.
I think it's so funny because Facebook is like, you're sitting there like the king, and you're like, they look at you remember how the shows when the king, they would look over at the king and the king would decide, and he'd like have his fist turned sideways and he goes up or down. Yeah. Every time I'm scrolling, somebody posts something, I'm like, oh, you're teetering. You're about to be on Don't Show Me post. And in 2 seconds, if I see another post of yours that shows me something that I don't like, down, you're going away into the abyss.
Right.
You're dead to me. There's a couple people on my Facebook that is working on their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like, I read that stuff and I'm just like, wow. Like, I don't have the mental energy for something like that. I barely have the mental energy to get myself out of the bed and do stuff I need to do. Like, much less have like some super dramatic back and forth relationship that's like super mentally taxing. Like, I don't. That's like a lot, bro. That is a lot.
I'm not trying to embarrass you here, but a couple years ago, you say that was passion.
Well, I mean, a couple years ago, my brain wasn't fully formed, okay? I wasn't...
It's just passion.
It's passionate. I want you to be passionate.
I want you to yell at me a little bit.
No, I didn't want you to yell at me. I don't like that.
Why are you not arguing with me?
No, but you're like the calmest person. It's like, when we started dating, I was like, so you like don't get mad about things? Like random things?
It's like, why?
I was like, I don't know. I'm just used to people get mad about things and then yelling and stuff a lot for no reason. You know? And
then I started just like trying to go along with it because you were really like, you would always bring it up. You're like, I feel bad if I'm yelling and you're not yelling. I'm like, okay, I guess.
But you don't yell.
I guess
I've never heard you yell.
Hey, no, you're wrong.
No, I don't you do that.
No, that's actually... I don't believe you're correct here.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I didn't know how to be in a functioning relationship, a functioning, healthy relationship until you, because that's not necessarily what I experienced. Makes sense. I didn't know how to act. I was like, so you're not like going to yell at me for things, right? Like if I, like you're not mad about this. I didn't make you mad. And you're like, why would I be mad? And I'm like, well, I literally don't know. But, like, that doesn't stop other people from being mad.
See, I don't, like, mad is a far point to be. Like, annoyed, sure. I can be annoyed with things you do.
Yeah.
I just work it out with myself and be like, why are you annoyed about this? Why? And I'll work it out and be like, okay, we're going to take a couple minutes, be as far away from her as possible, and we'll work this out, and then we'll figure it out. and then we come back and we won't be mad anymore. Not mad, annoyed.
You don't make me mad. Like,
I piss you off.
Ever, I don't think. Like, jokingly when I'm like, oh, it makes me so mad when you do this, but like not actually. Like, what is something like
when I crinkle up the towel, the floor towel in the bathroom because
yeah,
I have
when
shoes
you
on and I don't want to step on it.
when you crinkle up the I'm like, why are you doing that? Just take your shoes off so you can step on it.
But I just put them on. I don't want to take them off. Or when I leave the socks on my side of the bed.
That doesn't really bother. I like to make up things.
I do the laundry, so why is that a problem? You know, it's
no, right. It's just when I'm picking. No, that's what I said. I was like, I have to make up things sometimes if someone's fussing about something. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe my boyfriend or my husband or my fiance did this. They did that. I'm like, yeah, he leaves his socks laying beside the bed, and that really just grinds my gears. I don't care. I mean, I really don't.
See, the
only time it bothers me is when I did do the laundry and I would forget them. I would come over there and be like, damn it, there's socks I didn't put. Everything's clean but these stupid socks.
Well, I wear socks and then I take them off in the bed and I kick them off the bed.
Yeah, that's the only time. And that wasn't even like I'm going to yell at him when he gets home for his socks. I was like, bro, put your freaking socks in there. But then I just started checking your side of the bed and under your side of the bed for socks. Because I'm like, well, nobody gives a shit. It's not that big of a deal. I literally would just check for it when I would wash clothes.
Yeah.
I'm like, nothing's that big of a deal. You know what I mean?
No.
Like,
oh my God, who are you? Who are you?
I'm a well-adjusted human now. What do you...
You sound like me a couple years ago.
Yeah, I know.
I would say that all the time to you. Nothing's that big of a deal.
I didn't know how to function, and now I do. I'm healthy. I've had therapy. My brain fully formed. Before we were together, I was less than 25. I'm going to blame it all on my brain not being fully formed.
I'm younger than you.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's the bad part. But, like, function in relationships, you had a good example of a function relationship with your parents. I have parents that were never together, and then there was a lot of arguing between both parties and step-parents at points in my life. There was a lot of yelling going on in houses I was in.
See, I feel like my parents are like, they're where we're at. It's like at a certain point, it's weird to say this, you become like siblings in a relationship. So like, you're like, oh my God, get away from me. You wanna hang out or something? Or
like a best friend. Like, you're just like, all right, back up for a minute. Okay, you're fine now.
I wouldn't even say best friend. Yeah, no. I'd say more sibling.
Well, I mean, you're married, so you're family. Yeah. So it's just like a regular family dynamic in a sense of being like, oh my God, you're irking my nerves. Get away from me.
Because I've definitely left a best friend alone for a couple days. Yo, hey, you pissed me off, dog. I'm like, I gotta go. Like, my sister, I'd be like, I'm gonna fight you. I swear, I'm gonna fight you. Did you see that TV show?
Yeah, like 5 minutes later.
It was pretty good. Like, I like the way the characters come in there, you know.
Well, I'm like, you're like, yeah, I'm like, I can't stay. Even if you irritate me or do something that irritates me, which is like rare. If I'm like walking around the house not speaking to you, I'm like, I just saw this thing on TikTok. I need to show him. I'm not sending him a TikTok right now, but I really want to send him this TikTok because then he'll think I'm...
No, I forget.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be like, this funny TikTok send. No, we're mad at her. Dang it.
It's not, yeah, it's because it's not even like mad. I'm like, dang it, I want to show him this thing I just read. And I'm like, I'll save it and then I'll have to show it to him later when I'm done being irritated.
I guess we're cool now. I guess you can see the things I enjoyed today. Maybe you've earned the privilege of enjoying what I enjoyed previously.
Right. And it's so funny because it's like, even if we're irritated with each other, I'm like, it's about dinner time. Would you like something to eat?
Well, I'm already at the store, so just send me a list of what you want. Actually, because I'll get it.
Right.
Actually.
I'm like,
no, that's the biggest thing.
made you a plate, so here's your food if you want to eat right now.
It's like, actually, I'll make my own plate. Thank you.
I'm like, well, I've already made your plate, so you're going to eat this plate.
Well, fine. Fine.
It's like the goofiest arguments. It's not like, it's just like irritation, being like annoyed. Because everybody needs space sometimes. And I feel like, especially when you're really different, we're like very similar, but also very different.
Yeah, for sure.
And half the time it's not even annoyed. It's like, sometimes it's just too much for me when I'm having a bad mental day. You're like super happy and like energetic and like
my bad,
bebopping around the house.
My bad.
And sometimes I feel like crap mentally, and I'm just like really anxious, and I'm like, you're moving around a lot, and it's a really, I've got to go sit somewhere where there's nothing going on.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm walking on sunshine and you're literally sitting on a rain cloud. My bad.
Right. But it's not like irritation or anything. I'm just like, I want you to be happy and you do your thing. I'm going to just go be sad over here, and I'm going to cover myself up in the bed and lay here and scroll on TikTok.
But that's the thing. Also, if I decide to just chill a day, you're like, yo, what's wrong? Are you mad at me? Yo, are you like, you good? Like,
well, no, because you always have so much energy and you're doing a lot all the time. So when you're just chilling, I'm like, you sick or something? What's wrong with you?
No, I'm just
you're
chilling.
Not being happy and jumping around and moving around a lot. Like, what's going on with you? You good?
It's a Tuesday, bro. I'm just chilling.
It's like, but you don't normally chill.
I'll be walking on sunshine in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do worry when you're like being really quiet and just like doing something, like just sitting there. I'm like, did I do something? Like,
no,
what did I do?
It's
Are you
crazy.
mad?
It's crazy. I don't know if that's a genetic thing or you just, I don't know. Because me and Dad are very similar now. Mm-hmm. Because I will always be like, why Dad always sitting there so quiet? And I do that now. I sit and I'm just like, chilling, doing nothing.
Which is unusual for you.
Yeah. But no, the thing I was going to say, the only thing that irritates me now that you do, I'm like, bro, when I see you, I'm going to trip you.
Walking on sunshine.
I'll be like in the store getting stuff. And then you be like, are you still in the store? I'm like, oh my God, just say what you want. Just say what you want.
Well, no.
Are you nearby a store? Because then you're going to take 20 minutes to type what you need to type because you should have just sent it. Oh, I need ice cream. Just like,
No. But I asked that because I don't want to inconvenience you, because most of the time, unless it's like something very dire, if it's like dire, I'll be like, I need this thing. But I'll be like, are you near the store? Are you still in the store? Because I'm like, if you're not, I literally don't care. You can get it when you go back to the store. I don't want you to make a special trip in the store or back to the store to get this item. I'm like, it's not that important. I just want...
Hey.
What?
Do the opposite. I need string beans. But if you're not near the store, don't worry about it.
True.
Instead of going, are you at the store still? And I go,
okay.
Yes.
Like I type... I mean, everybody texts pretty fast. I think in my head, I'm like, if you're like literally about to walk into the line, I want to hurry up and be like, are you still in the store? And catch you before I type out, hey, I need string beans. But if you're not in the I have hiccups, hold on. If you're not in the store, you don't have to worry about it. I just want to be like, are you in the store real quick? Before I want to catch you before you get there.
No. String beans. Cookies.
It's like, nerd ropes. It's like, what?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go back and get the nerd ropes. Are you in the store by chance? Yeah. Bubble. Bubble. Bro, oh my God, I've been in store for 3 hours.
God. And I know you really love it when I explain to you why.
Oh my God.
I'm like,
need the string beans because I was thinking about making this casserole today. And maybe not even today. Maybe tomorrow I can make the casserole. Do you need the string beans? I just need to know if you need the string beans now. I just was thinking maybe we can have that for dinner.
And you're like, you can tell me why you needed it when I get home. Just tell me you need it. Jesus Christ.
It's like being on the phone with like a hostage negotiator. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what are your demands? I want
the string beans.
3 bags for the money in here because I want to have it decent enough to carry out. I don't want to actually have to
heavy.
Not too heavy. Just
and
something
I don't want one bag to rip.
Yeah. The what are those bags called? The ones that they use for scarecrows.
Scarecrows?
The sacks. The potato sacks. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With a drawstring on it. So I can tighten it so the money doesn't fly out. Dude, just tell me what you need.
Well, I'm telling you why.
I don't need the detail. I'm trying to get these people out here alive.
I think that has to be something with an anxiety or an overthinker person. I feel like I have to over-explain myself and make it make sense why I need something. Because it's like, well, why do you need it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think, I don't know. I think that's an overthinking
I literally would never ask that.
I know, but in my head, I'm like, well, I have to explain it where it makes sense why I would need this. I can't just say I need. But that's the same with telling people no about things. I'm like, no is a complete sentence, and I'm very well aware of that. But I'm like, if I have to tell somebody no about something, I have to give a whole explanation of why I can't do this thing for them. I'm like, well, see, I would, but I can't because I have this thing, and if I don't have any things and I just don't want to do it, I have to make up something, and then I feel guilty, and I'm like, well, I have to go do this thing I made up for real, or I'm a liar. Like,
no, you're not a no, period. You're a no, comma.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying.
We can't, because I'm like, nah, I don't want to do all that.
No, I know, and, yeah, and my therapist and other people, they're like, no is a complete sentence. I'm like, I understand that no is a complete sentence, but I have to no comma, and I have to tell you why I'm telling you no, because I feel bad if I just say no. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are like that.
Well, I'm a people pleaser. I like other people to be happy, and I don't want anyone to ever be upset with me, so it's hard.
Yeah, but like, you're also very irritable, so like, if you just said no, that'd be fine, because you will say, well, and then you'll let people talk you into it, and then you'll be irritable the whole time, and then it's like, you could have just said no.
Well, then they would be mad at me.
Not really.
And I'd rather do something to make someone else happy and be miserable the whole time than tell people no. And
you're like, wow, I wouldn't have invited you to this if I knew you were going to be
But I'm not irritable with the people that ask me for the thing. I hide it. I'm not irritable.
I think you just think you're naturally irritable. I think you don't even register your own irritability. I think you don't register your own irritability. I think you think if you're not yelling, you're not irritable.
Okay, well, yeah. But the only reason I get irritable, I feel like, I know I get irritable when I'm overwhelmed, like an anxiety-provoking situation. Like, I get sensory overload very easy.
Yeah.
Walking in Walmart, I mean, given that's not very easy, that's a lot going on. Like the fluorescent lights, the sounds, it's so much. And then all that, and then someone trying to speak to me at the same time, I'm like, I want to cry or scream because there's too much going on for my brain to process right now.
You're like,
and I don't know what that is. I'm very sensitive, huh?
You're constantly on acid. And somebody's going, nightmare, nightmare, nightmare.
No, that's what I feel like with my anxiety. Like that's what it feels like. I'm like, I want to get out of this situation. But sometimes I'm in like a situation like that and I'm completely fine. I think it just depends on the day.
Which makes sense. I mean, that's everybody though.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I think sometimes you get kind of stuck in your head and you think it's just you, but it's pretty much a lot of people.
Well, yeah, and I think, that's why people should talk about that, because sometimes I'm like, am I crazy? Do I just feel this way because I'm nuts? And it's like, no, everybody feels like that. I'm like, well, that makes me feel better. I mean, I hate that you guys feel like that too, because that sucks, but like, I'm glad that I'm not the only person in the world, huh?
I don't feel bad.
You don't feel bad.
Get out the store. If you don't feel good today, get out of the store. Because I'm sick and tired of you people standing in the middle of the aisle talking to your friends. Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen you. Can you go outside in the parking lot and do this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God!
When people block up traffic in the store, it bugs me. Yeah, it bugs me for sure. And I think it probably bugs you because you have like the thing where you need to move and you're like, gosh, somebody's in the way of my mission, and it bugs me because I'm like, I'm really anxious, I need to hurry up and get my things and get out of here before I freak out.
It's your mission.
Yeah, it's like we have to finish our missions because you're just gonna get antsy because you like to move and you don't like stuff to be in your way, and I'm like, I'm gonna have a mental breakdown in 5 minutes, so I need to get all of my items in these 5 minutes.
Absolutely. What's the thing called? Not intrusive, but impulsive. I have the impulsive thought to always smack somebody in the back of the head if they're standing still. Like, you're just sitting there talking. Or when they put the cart in the middle of the aisle and they go to the right to look at something. I'm like, put it in front of you. Like, just move it. Why are you sitting in the middle?
You know what really drives me absolutely bonkers. When two people are coming opposite directions with a cart and they meet to talk. So their two carts are next to each other and they're blocking the hallway. And I'm like, please, God, move. I am going to climb over your carts if you do not get out of my way right now.
I'm just going to start ramming you in the back until you move. Oh, I'm the bad guy now. This doesn't make sense to you at all why I would do something like this, but I'm the bad guy?
No, because if you need to get through the rest of the aisle, I'm so awkward that I don't even like to be like, hi, excuse me, can I get by you? I'm like, it's fine. I'll walk all the way back down this aisle around and then into the beginning of that aisle. Like, don't even worry about it. You stand there and have your conversation.
I typically will walk down aisles looking down the aisle before I go. So I'm like, oh, there's nobody down here. I'll go down this aisle.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to have to go around people because it's just in the way. Like, if somebody was to talk to me and be like, hey, can you move your car? I'm like, oh, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me if somebody asks me that.
I'll be wanting to go, yo, bitch, move your shit. And the dude's like, what? I'm like, bitch, move. And he's like, oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Also, I feel like sometimes I'm oblivious, but generally I look out for other people in the store. Like, if I'm got my cart parked to the side and I'm looking at a thing and then I happen to see someone standing there and they're looking at an item or look like they're looking where my cart is, I'm like, oh my God, give me one. Let me move so you get to it. And they're usually like, no, you're fine. And I'm like, no, I'm going to get out of your way. You let me get out of your way right now.
I'd be like, yo, hey, just push it out of the way. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm like.
Because people be scared to touch your cart. I'm like, no, go ahead. Just knock. If you see the way, knock it out your way.
Yeah, I wouldn't care. I'm like, no, oh my God, let me move. You need right here. And they're like, yeah, but it's fine. I'm like, no, I'm going to move. It's fine. It's like we're arguing about who could be the nicest, like the most polite.
Just don't Hulk smash and pick up the cart and throw it 6 aisles down.
Yeah, because I need my things in it.
I don't even know where it landed now.
But sometimes, you know how like when you're like passing somebody and you're like, oh, excuse me, let me get by you, and then they just like give you a mean look, and I'm like, I said excuse me, and I was saying it nice. Don't be looking at me like that.
That's when you smack on the back of the head. I'm sorry, you have an attitude. There might be a chip in the back of your head that might need to be reset. Let me smack you real quick.
No, because sometimes I'm like, oh, excuse me, and they're just like, give me a. I'm like, what? I said excuse.
What you want me to say? I'm sorry. Hey, bitch. Like, what?
What do you get out of my way?
Hey, bruh, you in the way.
And then that makes me feel bad. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
You just start going, could you be any more inconsiderate when you are like, excuse me? Could you be any more inconsiderate, please? And they're like, huh? What? Why would you say that? I just feel like you're in the way. You're not thinking about it.
You know what? And you know how like if you hold the door for somebody and they just walk through it and they're like, you're like, thank you, excuse me. I will shut this door right on you.
It's like you didn't know I was royalty. You're supposed to do that for me.
I will thank you someone to death because coming out of therapy, there's 3 doors you have to go through. And I thank you people to death. It'll be like one person walking out ahead of me, they'll hold the door and I go through it and I'm like, thank you. And then if they get back ahead of me and they go through the next door, I'm like, thank you. And then they go through the next door before me and they hold it for, I'm like, thank you. And I'm like, I've told you thank you in the last 5 seconds because the doors are close to each other. Yeah.
That's fair.
I do the same thing to waitresses.
Oh my God.
I thank you them to death because they're like, sit down the straws, thank you. Sit down the napkins, thank you. Sit down my cup, thank you. I'm like, and then they're like, I'll be right back. Thank you. It's like
I also invite them to my meal every time. Enjoy your meal. You too. Shit. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Have a seat. You've been working real hard.
Right?
This is your tip, by the way. So come eat with me.
God, that's so funny. I think about that and I'm like, maybe I should let them finish putting all the items on the table before I say thank you, or else I'm going to say thank you 10 times.
It just depends because I say thank you for my portion. I expect everybody to say thank you for their portion. So like they put the food in front of me and I'm like, thank you. But like, they put the food in front of somebody else. You're like, thank you. Put the food in someone. Thank you. It's like, okay. Why am I the one person saying the thank you? So,
I do it for the kids.
Yeah,
I'm like, thank you, because sometimes they say thank you. Ronan's 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sometimes they say thank you, but sometimes they don't think about it. They're kids. They're like, oh, food. You know what I mean? They're like not thinking about saying thank you.
Let me throw it.
Yeah, that one. We love to throw food, apparently.
Love to throw food. It's a constant food fight.
But
Never seen the movie, but consistently wants to do it.
How did we get from
Because romantic comedies are accurate, and this is why. Life is a bunch of, strategies and trying to figure out how to work with not only yourself, but your partner or other partners that you may have. And I feel like there is no one way that a relationship works. So in theory, romantic comedies are accurate to the people that it applies to.
That's true. You know what? I love a good romantic comedy. You give me a love story, it'll be my favorite thing.
You love a bad romantic comedy as well.
Yes. I was about to say that. I was about to say, but what is really fun to watch sometimes are really toxic relationships.
It drives me bonkers.
I don't want to be in one. I do not want to be part of that. That seems awful. But like the will they, won't they, holy crap, what is going on of watching a show or reading a book like that? I'm like, amazing. Love this. Very entertaining. I don't want to be a part of it, but I would like to be entertained by it.
I'm so burnt out, man, on romance in movies and TV shows, bro. Because we watch Vampire Diaries.
Oh, my God, I love it.
That was way too much. Will she be with this brother? Will she be with this brother? Will she be with this brother?
Team
Will
Damon.
she be with this brother? Will she be... Like, it went back and forth until the end. Like,
yeah.
It was not that deep. Like, there was other stuff going on.
Yeah.
I hate a show where there's dire situations and they're like, I think I need to tell you I love you.
But
shut up, man.
You know that the last 2 seasons was actually really good because there was no will they, won't they between Steph and Damon and Elena because Elena wasn't in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I love that part of it. I love the beginning of Vampire Diaries with all that, but I was worried that the last 2 seasons wouldn't be as good because I was like, she's gone. But it actually was good, and I was like, oh, we don't have the will they, won't they.
You don't need the romantic parts in a lot of these shows. They do it for people like you, and then the rest of us are like, bro, the story.
Well, Supernatural didn't have any, like, romance. Well, I mean, like, very mild and, like, sprinkled in, but it was mostly about, like, the things.
But that was just too much overall.
Because there was 15 seasons.
They just did too much for no reason.
I love all 15 seasons.
I do not. I do not love
season 7 is not my favorite with the Leviathans, but otherwise, fantastic show.
I think if you're gonna watch Supernatural, you need to watch the first season because it's the most Scooby-Doo-ish. The second, third, fourth. The fourth is
Castiel and like Crowley and stuff.
Fourth, fifth, then 12. 13, 14, 15. And that's it. You don't need to watch any of those in between. You just let that ride and just have a good time.
It was a lot.
It's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of, he's dead, he's back, he's dead, he's back. The devil never dies. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
The angels never die. It's like, okay, I raise you from perdition. It's like, okay, I get it. Fantastic. I love this. Dean. Okay. Sam. Son of a bitch. It's like, it's a lot of that. Like, that's pretty much it. If you were to cut the show together, it's Dean, Sam, Dean, Sam. We have to fight. It's like, okay, all right.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. And then Castiel doing that one. Son of a bitch. You know, it's too much.
I drank a liquor store.
I drank a liquor store.
I found a liquor store and I drank it.
Yeah, no, it's too much.
No, but was it season 6? Season 6 has the really funny episode where they're in Supernatural.
Yeah.
The show.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of really funny parts.
Yeah, there's funny parts. It's like you can find the funny episodes, but like the story wise, it can be condensed.
It's like an anime, lots of filler.
Yeah, it can be condensed, and there's like episodes where you're like, is this canonical?
Well,
no. Okay.
See, the thing is, I like filler, in the sense of now so many shows are made, and I get it, love it, straight to the point. But they have like come out and they have 8 episodes or 10 episodes, and I'm like, I would like a little bit of filler. I really like a good strong 20 episode season, and they don't make that anymore.
Okay, but I think they should do 2 then. They should do the
condensed version,
the abridged version, and then the unabridged version of every TV show.
Okay, I would be down with that. I would obviously watch the unabridged version.
Yeah, they have the unabridged version first, and then the abridged version comes out after.
Yeah, okay. I don't understand why you'd want to read an abridged book.
Like, because it saves you time.
Or listen, is what I mean. Listen to an abridged book. No. I want all the details, all the fluff, all the extra. I need to know all that. This is world building. I need to know what's going on. I need to know everything from all the angles.
No.
Why? I would never listen to the abridged version of an audiobook. That is ridiculous to me.
I don't even want to know people unabridged. Give me points about you, and that's it.
Give me the unabridged version of your personality.
I don't need to be like, when I was 3, I had this big dog. Like, bro, I had a dog named Skippy. Cool. Okay. What kind of dog was he? German Shepherd. Great. Moving on.
But Skippy, what happened when I was young with Skippy?
Skippy got a little snippy.
Is that, well, one day,
okay,
my father came home.
He sure did. I bet he did.
You're like, come on.
Okay. And he said Skippy wasn't our dog, and we had to return him back to our our neighbor.
I like that.
No.
I love for someone to tell me everything that's going on in their life.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, you tell me how you feel right now. It's like, I feel fine. No, tell me how you really feel. It's well, I've been feeling down, and I feel, my toenails feel funny, and then I really have been sad about my funny toenails. I'm like, no, tell me. I should have been a therapist. I'm like, no, tell me. I want to listen to all of it. Tell me.
See, here's the thing, right? I want you to tell me a story. That's where I want the details. I don't want the details about this random thing that happened. If you're not going to give me like, oh man, I had the craziest thing happen to me. And it's like, tell me the crazy parts. Like, tell me the build up to it, but don't be like, it was a red car. No, blue car.
Actually,
it wasn't a car at all. It was a truck.
Yeah. And then it had those, it had tinted windows.
Yeah.
And then it had the little step stool things on the side because it was a high up truck.
It was also, the tent was almost illegal, but it was just dark enough and light enough not to be illegal.
Yeah, but I couldn't see through it.
Yeah.
So,
and
but anyways.
It was Tuesday.
Right.
And about 4 or 5 o'clock,
maybe like 4:15.
Yeah, possibly that. And then there was a lady walking a dog. And it was a little Chihuahua. You know how aggressive they are.
Yeah.
Gosh, I had a Chihuahua when I was 3.
Yeah.
And he was very just snippy, just always biting my ankles.
I did have a Chihuahua. His name was Chocolate.
Yeah, exactly.
He's so cute.
But back to the story. The sun was right above my head.
Yeah, it was kind of making my scalp hot.
Yeah, it was kind of making my scalp hot. It's like, what does this have to do with you being in Walmart? What does this have to do about you being in Walmart? You haven't gotten to Walmart yet. No, I'm outside my house. I'm telling you what happened.
That is how I tell stories sometimes, and I am so very sorry about that. I think that's because that's what I prefer. I think I like to read and I like to write, and I want to set the scene for you. I want to set the scene so you feel like you were there in this memory with me. I want you to know the smells, the sounds, the feelings.
But
that's the writer in me, or maybe I'm just annoying. But
my brain puts stuff together pretty quickly. So when you're doing that, I'm like, I got the pieces. I know. You're just painting a scene.
Well,
you're Bob Rossing right now. I need you to make it a movie. Okay.
I want to Bob Ross it.
You're like, the little trees.
The happy little trees.
Happy little trees. And there's a little lake. And I'm like, make it a movie. Make it a movie. Why are you making this one scene the most important?
That's another thing, talking about abridged and unabridged versions. Movies are abridged versions most of the time of books. I feel like when they make it, and a TV show is like the unabridged version. I said, I'm so sick of them making books into movies because generally they miss so much. I want you to make the books I like into a television show, 20 episodes per season. I want to know everything that is going on.
No. Okay. See.
Will I watch a 10-hour movie? Absolutely not. That's ridiculous. Where I watch 10 hours of a television show in one day? Absolutely I will. That is not ridiculous.
See, here's the thing, right? Take along for the ride, right?
Yeah.
I like the movie.
It is a good movie.
I'm not reading the book. You're like, there's a lot of details left out. I'm like, no. See, I got everything I needed from it. No. I don't need to know she drank an apricot soda.
No, but it's not that. It's the internal turmoil going on. Like that's what I mean with backstory too when I'm writing. I'm like, I don't have enough character backstory. I need you to know what's going on in their head, which you do here because almost everything I write is in first person. But I you need to be like, well, this affects me this way, and I acted this way in the movie, in this scene, because of this. This stems from this thing. Like, I want to break it down and to know what's going on.
Oh, do you have, like, a hard time reading people?
Yes.
That's why. That's why. Okay. Because in a movie, I'll go, why'd you do that? 2 seconds later, they'll show something to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense why you did that then.
Well, sometimes I can, but a lot of times I have I have a hard time reading people. I've had friends before that were not great, and it's because I'm like, I cannot see the signs.
I saw the signs. It opened up my eyes. It saw the signs.
I am colorblind to red flags.
That song came out before you were born, and it was giving you just the caution that you needed, and you just ignored it.
And I love that song because of Pitch Perfect.
I ignored the song.
Exactly.
I keep my eyes closed. I ignored the song. I'm just pretending that you're all so friendly.
Well, I think I want to see the good in people, and I want to be like, oh my God, you're so wonderful. I love you.
No.
You're great, right? And then they show me they're not great, right? And I'm like, oh, well, that upsets me that you're not great. I thought you were great.
But today's a new day, so
maybe you'll be great today.
Okay, all right. No, it's not how that works.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, then I want you to retract your statement of I don't know if romantic comedies are accurate, because you just proved that they are.
They are accurate.
A person wakes up with amnesia every day.
Shoot, I know I have.
I don't know why I was angry at you. I just feel like we deserve each other, and you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. 2 seconds later, I'm crying because you smashed a cake in my face on my birthday, and I told you I really hate when people do that in videos, and you were like, I think it's funny. But you don't care about my boundaries. You just care about how funny you think things are.
I also have a hard time setting boundaries with people, so yeah. Yeah. Boundaries are not my strong suit because I don't want anyone upset with me. I want everybody else to be happy. Me, I'm not so much worried about my happiness per se. I'm like, yeah, I don't really like when you do this thing, but it's okay because I don't want to tell you that because that might upset you. And I'm fine being upset. I just don't want you upset.
The older I get, the less I care about people being upset with me.
Well, that's true. I feel like I care less now. Like, definitely some of that, I'm taking a tiny bit of my power back. But it's still like a work in progress. It's really hard to do that for me still. I'm almost 30 years old. I should be able to set a boundary with a person. Jesus.
I'm almost 29, you know.
Yeah.
Out here working on the pieces, you know.
I'm slowly trying to do that. That's a thing that my therapist has talked to me about because I tell her that and she's like, you got to set boundaries. I'm like, yeah, well, you know.
It's like I like myself more than I like a lot of people. Most people.
Oh. So that's my problem.
That's the thing.
I don't like myself more than I like most people.
Especially if like even if I'm like I'm not going to say anything to this person, I'm just not going to hang out with this person anymore.
Yeah.
They're done. I'm cool. I don't like the way I feel when I'm around you, so I'm just going to ignore the fact that you exist.
I have a lot of guilt about cutting people off. Weird. Even people that 100% deserve it, not talking to people, I have so much guilt. And I'm like, no, I don't want you to be upset. But, like, in reality, they don't give a shit about me or they wouldn't be treating me that way, so they don't even care. I'm the one that's sad about it.
I mean, I've had guilt based on previous things and not talking to people, but it's kind of like, at a certain point, you're thinking about yourself to the point where you're like, I matter so much to their lives. And it's like, you'll be all right. It's okay.
Well, I don't think I matter so much to their lives. It's a weird conundrum because I'm like, I don't think I matter, but I also am like, but I don't want to hurt their feelings if I'm not talking to them. But in reality, they don't care. I care.
I don't matter that much to your life, but who are you going to use if I don't talk to you?
Exactly.
Who are you going to use and abuse if I'm not there for you?
Right. Yeah, you know what? Still, good thing I still go to therapy. Yeah. I have a lot of stuff to work out, obviously.
That's
true. But, I've come a long way.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely come a long way.
Yeah, I'm just, I think self-worth is the thing I have to work on a lot. Because it is in the it's in hell. Honestly, it's as low as it can get. My bar for self-worth. It's incredibly low. And I'm like, I like myself sometimes. And, like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, look, I did this thing and I did this thing well. But then sometimes I'm like, wow, I am a turd on the bottom of a shoe.
It's crazy. See, because self-worth, I'm good. You know, I'm trying to figure out that monetary worth. That's my only stressor right now.
Mm-hmm.
If I had the money, nothing would be wrong with me at all. But, yeah.
Yeah.
So, based on the conversation,
Ooh,
do you agree with me now?
Okay. I guess they can be accurate.
Yeah. To be like,
the part of saying they're not accurate was purely and everyone lived happily ever after with no problems whatsoever at all.
Some people do.
Some people do, but I'm saying generally that's not accurate. Well, it's like you have like you're like, holy crap. Like when I write a romantic lead in a story, they have a lot of your traits, but outside of you, I haven't met any yet. And I'm like, they're literally perfection. That does not exist.
I'll tell you what the thing is, okay?
Because obviously it's fiction, so you want it to be like, I want this to be wonderful. I don't want it to suck.
No, here's the thing about romantic comedies that a lot of people don't do. And here's the thing. Compromise is always made in the movies.
Yeah.
Real life, a lot of people don't compromise because they're like, nah, I'm angry at you, so I'm going to stay that way. But when people compromise, not in a way that you compromise like your boundaries or anything, you just work with people a little bit more and be like, hey, I don't like this, or I like this, or I don't want. Saying what you don't want is fine. And not everybody has to be together, and that's the thing. What confuses me is the fact that everybody thinks if I'm in a relationship with a person, this has to be the relationship that works. It's like, no, this could be a hit or miss, and you move on and you keep going until you find things that you like that all match together.
I think a lot of people have a very hard time compromising.
Yeah. It's very hard.
It is hard, but it's necessary because you have to, at least to a degree. You're never going to be able to be with a person and live with a person without some minor bit of even if it's just like, I'm compromising that I'm just like, you're going to want the toilet paper turned this direction. Yeah. And not this direction. It's like, I don't mean compromise anything serious. Like, obviously, do not do that. If you're having to compromise huge parts of yourself or your life to make this person happy, no. But, like, it's like little stuff. It's like, well, I like our toothbrushes sitting on the left side of the sink, not the right. Like, stuff like that. It's like...
Yeah.
And some people don't even... Yeah, people argue about stuff. I'm like, that's not that serious.
Like, I'm right-handed. It doesn't make any sense for me to pick it up with my left.
Yeah, and it's like, nothing is that serious. Just like I used to be like funny about how my clothes were folded sometimes. And I'm like, I don't like them folded this way. But then you started folding my clothes. And I'm like, honestly, I don't want to fold clothes. So I'm going to, however you fold them, that's fantastic. I love it for you.
Yeah, because I would just leave your clothes. I would fold my clothes and put them away and leave your clothes because you need to fold them a specific way.
And now I'm like, if you're folding them, I don't give a shit how they're folded as long as they're folded and put up because I hate folding clothes. And I think sometimes it's hard to compromise on little stuff, and then that turns into big stuff, and it's like really strange that I'm like, it
just piles up over time.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like the little thing seems like that's what you snap about, but they could be having like actual issues, and then it's like, this toothbrush on the wrong side was the last straw. It's like, he cheated on me 37 times, but this toothbrush was the last straw.
This was the last bristle.
The last bristle, exactly.
Bristle.
But yeah.
I feel like it wasn't a debate, but I convinced you.
Yeah. Well, because the reason I was saying they weren't is because I was like, well, not everybody gets happily ever after. There's not. But sometimes you do. And
you got to think about it. Even in the movies, the main couple is the one that has a happily ever after. There could be like other couples in the show that are like splitting up, having problems, and
that is their happily ever after. What was the movie? I freaking love that movie. He's just not that into you.
Yeah.
Some of the people's happily ever after is that they finally got a divorce and that they can live happily ever after, not have to deal with this. So I'm like, happily ever after looks different to everybody. So it could be you find the relationship you want, you find your newfound freedom and independence that you want, like. There's a million happily ever afters, and they don't have to look the same.
Right. And I feel like a lot of people are like...
I think I meant they weren't accurate in the everybody has to be in a relationship to live happily ever after. Like, you have this perfect relationship. Because I was like, there's no such thing.
But I feel like that's a thing that, like, oh, if you want this, that makes sense. But I feel like people are like... I lost my point. I don't know. I forgot. I was like, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense because it's like, okay, if you're watching something about making sushi and you don't want to make sushi, then don't be like, this is inaccurate. I would never do that.
Right.
It's like, okay, don't do it then.
That's true. Yeah, don't do it. Because, I don't know. Yeah, happily ever after could be, I finally moved out on my own and started this new job that I wanted that nobody wanted me to have or something. You know what I mean? Like, happily ever after doesn't have to be with a relationship.
Oh, I was like, the standards.
Yeah.
I just think people are like, well, relationships aren't like that because, you know, the compromises I'm making are too large. It's like, there's people that will work with your compromises and treat you that way.
If you're having to make compromises too large and it's like cutting into like your actual values and not just small things, then that's not who you need to be with. If you're having to compromise that big.
And you can totally switch it up.
I mean, unless you're like, well, I used to sleep with 97 women every week, and I'm having to compromise and not do that now that I have a girlfriend. Okay, all right, that's a compromise you need to make. Some things are
hard to give up. You know?
Well, I mean, even then, you can find someone that's okay with that.
That's what I'm saying.
So if it's that important to you, then find someone where you don't have to compromise and where that works for them.
There's so many people in this world that work within the same things, wants and needs.
Yeah.
And they just like, I don't want you sleeping with a bunch of people, but I want to. And there's somebody that's like, I really don't care about sleeping with people. I just want to have somebody that's at home sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want you home all the time. Just like occasionally, like, you check in with me or something like that. And they're like, that works.
Yeah. It's like, you don't manipulate somebody into being what you want them to be.
Yeah.
Find someone that works with you because that's how they are and that's how they work with you. Otherwise, that's not healthy and that's not good and you don't need to do that. Yeah, I think that's the lesson that you
learn that from romantic comedies. You're looking at it too straight ahead.
You find someone that works with how you would like to be.
Yeah. It's weird to look at an art and go verbatim.
Yeah.
The art is supposed to be up for your interpretation, and people just go, that movie wasn't good because it was point blank. It's like, no, there was, like, you got to use it.
I would be a terrible film critic because I like everything. Most stuff I watch, I'm like, wow, that was really good. I would definitely watch it again. And then it has like a 20 on a Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm like, okay, well, y'all are just haters.
I suck at watching movies because I'm just like, this was pretty good.
I'm like, what am I critiquing? Like, I was like, it entertained me. That's what it was supposed to do, and it did its job.
That was the point.
I'm entertained.
Well, thank you guys for joining us again for another episode of...
Sorry, I burped. Gosh, what is wrong with me? Significant baller.
All right. Okay.
I was trying to do a deep voice, but it didn't work.
Yep, that's fine. All right. See you next time.